All right, here we are on the podcast. We got Marc Ryan, also known as Lawnmower Steve.
Yeah.
But
we can talk about that.
But you've come out of the closet. You've come out of the shed.
Yeah.
As Marc Ryan.
A lot of people are coming out as new genders or not a gender.
Yeah.
I'm coming out as a different person.
Just a guy. You identify
Another guy. I'm coming out as a nerdy guy. Right. That's what you said.
I did say that.
We did a shoot where we shot up a Christmas tree.
Right.
And in the middle of me trying to get everybody together, because you guys are all partying and drinking and smoking and acting crazy and wild. And I was like, all right, guys, we're going to get together. We're going to focus. We're going to do this. And you're like, oh, God, the look on your face. Oh, who's this guy? This guy sucks.
Yeah, where's Steve? Where's that cool guy?
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, where's that guy with the criminal record?
Yeah, I want to hang out with that guy some more. Yeah. So Steve Jessup. Yeah. This is the first time I've talked about it on a. So you got
on a podcast.
You got the exclusive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I think that's so you're.
I'm out.
Yeah. But you're still gonna do it some though, right?
I'm still gonna be a little bit redneck sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But
it's in me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's part. It's
people
part
get really upset. Does he even drink? I'm like, do I have to?
Right.
Does he even smoke weed? I'm like, I guess some of this is going to be a mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to show him.
Yeah.
You got the PBR right here.
Yeah. PBRs. Oh, what is this?
We'll bust out some of these cigars.
Can we show the tray of them? Look how pretty this looks. Look at this.
Yep.
Oh, this is how. Now, how quick would you go through this?
Not very. Special occasions.
Oh, wait, this is a really special deal.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I felt like
I
it was because you smoked one of these with me before.
Right. There's only one missing.
Right.
And it's not because I smoked it; it's because I gave it to a friend that I hadn't seen in a very long time, a comedian. Yeah, you know what I mean?
This is a treat box.
It is.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what is it again?
And the Xeno Platinum, and it's the barrel. So the Xeno Platinums is just a type of cigar which you can find in different sizes, but the barrel is kind of it's mostly the size, but
it's big.
They're right. It is big, but they're a little better too. I think they put the finest of tobacco.
I'm just gonna tell my friend who's here with me. I'm gonna smell like this for like 2 days.
I smell like cigars constantly. You can't because I live in Chicago now.
You just.
Yeah. Primarily, I live in Chicago, and you can't. They're so lame about smoking laws there. Even you can't even smoke on patios in Chicago.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is there a distance? You have to be a certain way.
Yeah, some places you can't even smoke on the street out in front of the building and stuff like that. I mean,
what do you do?
Really crazy.
You go in the alley.
Break the law, of course. I mean, what do you mean? What do I do?
You go in your truck. Go sit in your truck.
That is usually what happens.
Yeah.
Hey, Jesse, sound guy / engineer. Do you think you could throw
producer
me
Jesse?
Yeah. Could you throw me my pocket knife by any chance? Well, don't throw it. Actually.
Oh man, and this is another thing that you excel at. A lot of guys that get into cigars buy all these fancy cutters and nibblers, and people get into all the accessories, but John just does it with a knife.
People trip out over this.
I love
cigar
it
bars
because this is an expensive cigar to be fucking with it like
true.
that.
Where I got started doing this is I like what they call a punch cut. You've seen those?
Yeah.
It's that sharp circle.
It's like a circle.
Right. But the problem with those is they get dull super fast. And then if you have a cigar that's a little dry, you can end up breaking the end or splitting your cigar because you're putting so much surface area on it at the same time.
Rear end pressure.
Exact rear end. Yeah, too much rear end pressure.
Bro, I have had way too much rear end pressure in my life.
Yeah, you need it to be tuned down to a fine point.
Take your rear end pressure down a little bit.
Exactly.
Don't push so hard.
Right. So I could take
the tip.
A really dry cigar that really is too dry to smoke, and I can still cut it and I'll smoke it anyways.
I love it.
Shit.
This is a process. This is part of the ritual.
It is. You want to do it? Or?
No, I want you to do it.
This
is part of like what it's so fun to hang out and smoke cigars with you. You get to tune me up.
Yeah.
I got a professional expert knifesman Now, so you're in the gun world, marksman, right? So if you're a good knife, is a knifesman a word?
I think so.
If you're good with knives,
Yeah.
what do you call a producer?
He doesn't have a mic. We're not there yet in the setup.
Hold up now.
We are not there yet in the setup, all right?
That's right. He can't talk.
He can't talk.
Refer to the guy with the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not. We're not there yet. This is a work in progress. This studio. I've got my Chicago studio. I've got this
So
studio.
it's like a flap. You just left the flap on there.
Yeah, but I'll just let you pull it off yourself. I didn't
Oh, I'm
wanna,
gonna pull it off.
Yeah, I didn't want to go digging into your cigar with my hands.
Okay. Well, now what do I
Yeah,
do?
just pull it
just
out.
pull that out.
Yeah, let's pull it out.
Boom.
Now, if you want to get, I'm not gonna do that in here because I don't want to set this Jesse's house on fire. But
Okay.
what you would do if you're real fancy is why they have this cedar in here.
That's what you
is
light it with.
I've lit this before and held the tube and done it.
Why don't we do that?
Well, it's gonna fall. I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea. Probably it might catch something on fire.
Only do it
But
around campfires.
exactly. But I'll show you the proper way. The proper way to light a cigar.
I know. Now, is that what that's for?
It is.
It's to light it?
Right, because some people believe that it gives you a better flavor, or at least it doesn't affect the flavor in any sort of negative way.
Right, because a lot of people believe that you're getting some of the
Well,
whatever it is, the
butane is
butane in there.
supposed to be odorless. So, and I've not noticed any
Tasteless.
Tasteless, right? Tasteless. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not noticed anything. But when you light with
I never knew that. I thought it was like for the humidity or something about the the moisture.
no, I don't think so. It's just to light it. Yep. Because if you go to cigar bars, they'll have
that.
little sticks of cedar at the table, so you can pull out and light your cigar with.
That smells good too. All right.
Yeah.
Well, shit. I feel like every time we do this, I learn new things.
Yeah. There's a lot to cigars, kind of.
A lot. Yeah. Yeah.
They're fun. They're nice.
Go ahead. Let's get
I try to
toasty.
It's weird. Not a lot of people smoke cigars. I try to get people into it. They won't do it.
I don't, but I do with
Yeah,
you.
Jesse won't do it. I haven't gotten him to do it yet.
Why not?
I was in the military for a long time. That was
Okay.
my one vice.
We're doing the thing where he's talking off camera.
I
I'm
know.
sorry.
Yeah.
Apologize. He said he was in the military. I'll say what he
Treat
said.
it like a heckler on stage. Yeah.
Yeah. That was my one vice.
That was your one vice in the military.
I didn't pick up.
I didn't pick up.
Yeah, that's what he said.
What did? Oh, you dipped.
Nope. No nicotine. Just drink.
He said,
He
why
had
would-
an enema addiction.
oh, yeah.
Loved stuffing things in his butt.
Dirty dog. How did you know?
He doesn't even have a mic. He can't talk back.
This is how it works when you're on stage.
Yeah, it
They can't
does.
say anything.
That's right. Yeah.
yeah,
They're done.
I'm
Yeah.
amplified, dumbass.
The craziest thing that comedians do when someone is heckling is they do that whole thing with like, oh, you think this is so easy, you try it. Then they let them have the mic. Oh. That's crazy that anyone would ever do that.
Have you ever seen in person or a video of that gone wrong where the guy gets up and just
I have.
killed? Yeah,
Yeah, it
in
happens.
person or on video?
No, never in person, but
Yeah.
on video.
Yeah.
What's the worst heckler situation you've ever
I
seen?
just put myself in that exact situation a couple of weeks ago in
Yeah.
Fort Worth. I had this really rowdy guy over here who kept. It was the kind of heckler, and there's lots of different types of hecklers, but he was harmless for the most part, but he just wanted to interact at every, like,
okay.
yeah, I do that. Yeah, I've been to that place.
right.
You know,
They're almost worse because you can't.
it's not mean.
Not a lot you can
he's
do,
not
yeah.
like, fuck you, asshole. It's just like, he's excited, but
Yeah.
he doesn't, he's got to react every time.
Right.
But I did that exact dumb thing. I was like, do you think you could come up here and do a better job of me?
You didn't give him the mic though, did you?
No, but luckily he said, no, I'm sorry. I'm just fucked up. And he apologized and they got a big laugh.
Yeah.
And I was just very sincere with him. I didn't, go for the throat. So to
Yeah.
speak.
Right. Yeah.
I think it happens at the beginning of comedy.
I think yeah.
It's a fear thing, because
Right.
like you're thinking like I'm going to lose control of the show. So when you're just new in comedy and someone, I ain't having fun yet. Oh, well, you can fucking suck dicks in hell. You just go off on them.
Yeah. Oh, really? Look at your shirt, though.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at your dumb shirt.
Right.
Yeah. You just attack them.
You don't need to do that usually a lot of times.
But now I don't. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I've got enough years in my under my belt. We gonna smoke these
Yeah.
things?
Yeah. I was gonna show you. So you want to roast it first?
Okay. Yeah. I saw Ron White say this on Rogan.
Yeah, big cigar guy. Yeah, it is what you do.
Because he said if you start pulling right away, you
Mm-hmm.
pull all that heat through there, right?
Right, something like that. Yeah.
And it kind of messes it up.
And then usually, I don't know if you're supposed to do this or not, but this is what I always do: is I roast it for a little bit and I blow on it.
And you tell it your secrets.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do.
I whisper in its ear.
I want this to be a good smoke. Don't fuck me over. Yeah.
I was gonna say the heckler thing. I had one recently that was it was to me the funniest type of heckler because I'd never seen it before, and this guy, there's this guy in the audience that when you would finish a joke, he would say like he would go no he would go he would like kind of answer it. He would go yes, and he said it just like that, right? Like it was rhetorical questions, maybe having a bit.
Yeah.
He'd go yes,
Yep.
yes, no. I don't think so. Why? He did that. He really fucked a guy up. And it was this guy. I'm not gonna say who his name was, but because it's gonna make him sound like. Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But there was a comic on the show. There was a very good comic, and he kind of threw off his whole set because he said, I forgot what it was. He said something, some joke, and then the guy just goes, "Why?" That's all it was. Why? Just loud.
Now, what do you think that is? Autistic?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably just needing attention. You know.
Now, one of my craziest heckles was in Chicago. Yeah, a long time ago. It wasn't like a comedy club. It was like a techno rave club that did comedy on the weekends.
Okay.
Like the Blue Lounge or something like that, you know?
The Blue Note?
Blue Note.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that still a thing?
It is, yeah.
Do they do comedy?
They do, yep. They have a show there. Yep. How long ago was this?
Probably 20 years ago.
1979?
Okay, that was 40 years ago. Okay. Fucking guy who can't
That's
do
true.
math.
You were still doing open mics back then.
I wasn't even. I didn't even know if I knew what comedy was in 1979. I knew who Johnny Carson was probably.
Really? Okay.
At 8, I was 8.
Yeah. Oh, so you never got on Carson?
But no, so I was in Chicago, and this didn't even make sense. And I'm sure you'll be like, well, but why? And I don't know why. Just in the middle of my show, this guy just stood up and started screaming, "Fuck you! Fuck you, man! Fuck you!" Apparently, I said something that upset him.
Yeah. Wow.
I just was like, oh my God. Yeah, guys, security, can you help me? Normally, it ramps up a little slower, but he just went right to DEFCON.
Wow.
Fucking all of it.
That's crazy.
Is it 10 or 12?
10, I think, right? It's 4. It's
Definitely
only 4.
It only goes to 4.
Damn. That's crazy.
There's no 12?
That's not that. I feel like it's not that serious if it only gets counted to 4.
Yeah, what is 3?
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, what did you do?
We got to get this guy a mic because he's just like going, I can't.
We will, yeah.
I can't answer these
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
He does have a computer. He's looking up porn.
Yeah.
We didn't even ask him to do that.
Yep.
I thought your producer was supposed to just look up the things you wanted, and he's over there like,
Right. It keeps showing it to us
fisting.
on our TV.
right,
you
there's
know.
a big TV right here. I see fisting.
Yeah. I'm not looking. Mark is the one that pointed it out.
Well, it's all right. 70 inches of fists.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I like your
we'll get
hang
a
here,
mic.
man. This is good.
Thanks, man. It's coming along. So yeah, back to what we were saying originally. So you're
This
you're
is
just
great.
So you're just doing this,
So this is such a good cigar.
right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's incredible, right?
Yeah, it's so smooth.
Yeah,
And it gives you a little.
right. So Steve, you're doing this new character called Marc Ryan, where you're like, maybe I'll, tone it down, a little bit. I'm on parole now, so I gotta,
Some
play it
people
safe.
did say that when I put the Being Steve videos out where I talk about it. They were like, "Who's this guy that Steve's impersonating? Bring Steve back."
Right.
Yeah. Some people got really upset.
Wow. Crazy.
Like, what do you make of that? When people are like, "You lied to me. I feel betrayed."
Well, they probably
These
feel
are things that I've heard.
maybe a little bit stupid for believing it. Possibly. You made people feel stupid.
But my argument is, well, it's two things. And this is what I've said online a bunch, is in order for it to be a good laugh,
Right.
a really good laugh, like I'm talking about where you feel it like up in
Right.
your chest,
Right.
it has to be believable to you.
Absolutely.
It has to be real because you have to be so excited to go like tell your friends, I found the fucking dumbest redneck on the internet. And this guy, he's in South Louisiana, blah, blah, blah. You have to really believe it for it to be. If you think it's a sketch, you're like, that's funny, but it's surface.
Right.
It doesn't hit you in the. And so I just knew it had to be real. That was the first thing. And then the other thing I would ask is like, do you feel betrayed? Like, are the laughs not, like when you say it's a lie, are those laughs somehow any less in the past?
Right. It's not a lie.
Those
It's
laughs
definitely not
that
a
you
lie.
had 5 years ago when you were laughing your fucking ass off at me,
Right.
That's in the past. I can't take that away. You already laughed.
Right.
It's already
Exactly.
fucking happened.
Yeah.
So I just get confused when people are so like, I feel like I was lied or I was betrayed. It was just all about comedy. And,
Yeah,
and me
it's
knowing
fun.
like comedy has to be really believable to be good.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember, I thought Larry the Cable Guy, I was a kid when I discovered Larry the Cable Guy. So I didn't understand how any of that worked. I thought that's who he was.
That's the thing that's so funny. There's a ton of them.
Right.
What's the guy that he's a director now, but he used to talk like this.
Oh, right.
Oh man, what's that guy? And he was good friends with Robin Williams, but he was doing a
yeah,
character.
That's right. Bobcat.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Right.
Yeah, Larry's come out as doing a character. A lot of guys, and even as you've hung around comedy a bunch, you start realizing even guys really well, and they're kind of pretty much mostly who they are.
Right.
They're still turning it up
Oh,
a
absolutely.
little bit. So you could argue even that's a little bit of a character.
There's a middle ground too. As a comedy fan, I appreciate comics who are either a character like how Steve was, or they're just basically being herself. No one is 100% themselves, or it'd be a
some
podcast.
some guys are
But-
pretty close.
Right.
I'd say Nate's pretty close,
Yeah, I would say so.
and Ron White.
Definitely.
That's
Dave
pretty
Chappelle.
close. Pretty Dave Chappelle. But that's a hard thing to get to because, instinctively as a performer, and this may be your wheelhouse too.
Mm-hmm.
It is for me. The big act outs and the more performance side is where I win more than my words.
Oh, right.
I would like to win more with my words, but I just instinctively I can make people laugh more with the voices and the faces and the act outs and all that stuff like that.
Right.
So, it's like you go to where the laughs are.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that happened to me young because I was like, well, I want to be more authentic. I don't want to talk about real things. And I would talk about that. And I could see the audience looking at me like, oh, that's sad. We feel sorry for him. And I'd be like, back to the dick jokes. Here we go.
yeah. That was the thing I noticed that weekend that we did down in Alabama, getting to watch you do stand up. I like your style of you kind of go 0 to 60 out of nowhere. It's that transition is always so funny, without ruining your bits. But what I mean?
Yeah, no.
I like that.
I've never heard anybody recognize that. That is actually something I learned in acting class.
Really interesting. Okay.
At LSU.
Okay.
I had this acting teacher that said it's way more interesting to see a guy go from crying to angry on a dime than to slowly see him just build into anger and then go. It's way
Yeah.
more interesting to see him just snap and go, but fucking goddamn it.
Right.
So it's I learned that the hard shifts were more interesting.
Right.
From one to another.
That's true, because it's always hilarious when someone I've seen this in stand-up or even in comedic acting roles where something happens to them or they're describing something that happened to them where they're angry and they're pretending like it's fine, like, oh, it's fine, yeah, it's fine, all right, yeah, I'm not mad about that, and they just elevate so quickly. Like that's
and
almost
audiences
always
know
funny.
where you're going, so if you can surprise them,
Right.
it's better. So if you did a slow build like that, they're like, all right, yeah, I guess he gets angry at the end of this.
Yeah.
Because they can see it coming a mile
Right,
away.
true.
Yeah. It's kind of creepy how smart and dumb they are at the same time.
Right.
It is. It's
Yeah.
like their instincts and their instinctual knowledge is way more
Right.
sharper than their just they're right off the top of their head.
Very true. Someone comic made this comment and I didn't like it. They said that if you're complaining about the audience being dumb, then shouldn't they be easier to make laugh? It's like, no, that's not how it works.
No, I had to work harder.
Because comedy is
because they're not listening. They're not paying attention.
Because comedy is on some level, it's a trick or it's a surprise, and if they're not following it at all, then how are you going to trick them?
Right.
Which
is hard these days with the amount of distractions.
Oh, it is.
I mean, even I think without the distractions present, meaning the phone or whatever it is, I feel like the brain is still programmed to distract.
Right.
So even with that thing, even if it was in a yonder bag, which they do in a lot of places where they lock the phone up,
Right.
people are instinctively halfway through your joke going, I need to check my oh, wait. What is he saying? Oh, I don't have my phone. It's locked up. So the brain, I think, is constantly going, check that.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I think it's harder to hold people these days, which means you have to be tighter, right? Your setup has to be succinct. And like I love, my whole thing right now is if I can say something shorter and shorter. One night here, we're in Nashville. It's one night at Zany's. I saw Theo do the shortest joke I think I've ever seen.
It's I think I know what you're gonna say. It's on his special, so you can probably say it. The reincarnation one. Yeah, I think it's on his
Reincarnation.
Special. Yeah,
Set up.
right.
Thinking about it. Punchline. What the fuck?
Yeah,
It's so tight.
yeah, it is.
It's so.
And
I've never written a joke that short.
And the tag, yeah, I think. Unless
And
I
it
remember
works.
wrong, I think we said
it really
was
does because it's so weird and it's Theo
Yeah.
and it's perfect for his voice.
and he paused for a while. He's like,
Is the timing of it? The timing?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to re-enlist.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is a funny tag.
Which is such a weird. Now you're as an audience, you're going, what the? Oh
Yeah.
my god, this is such a weird joke.
yeah. Oh, I gotta teach you the cigar thing.
Okay.
Don't ash it that way.
Okay. Yeah. What the fuck am I doing?
So with a cigar, you want to let the ash actually hang because it'll hang for a pretty
Like
long.
my mama's.
Yeah.
My mama would get that big hanger.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
there.
You want a big hanger on
Yeah.
there. And then when it's
And then just tap.
and then you just kind of tap it off. Yeah. You never like push the ash down on something.
Now, does that affect my smoke?
It does.
I knew you were gonna say that.
But you did it very lightly. So
I was just trying
it
to
should
rub.
be fine.
I like it when it's rounded.
Okay. You like a good round ash.
I like a good round tip.
Okay. Semi-gayity.
Got pretty weird.
Yep. But I forgot what we were saying about comedy. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
hard.
you bring gay
It's
stuff
hard.
up and it just resets the room.
It does. It does reset the room. It's hard. Yeah, it's very hard to keep people's attention. I've noticed.
And now I have friends that are on a much bigger level, like you know, theaters and arenas, and they say the exact same thing.
Really interesting.
Yeah, it's across the board. I don't know. It's just where we're at right now. I think
Yeah.
it's there's a lot of distractions, a lot of mental distractions, a lot of
You're competing with a lot.
emotions that are raw
Right.
about things. People are ready to react at the wrong. Well, oh, you're saying this.
True. I kind of feel like
There's a lot of hurdles.
Oh, definitely. I think it's going to get better though in the short term. I think to me, what's happening, I think live entertainment is going to see, if it's not already, kind of a renaissance because of all the distractions at home on
I agree.
TV and phones.
People need a break.
I've noticed I've gotten super into sports in the last couple of years, more so than I was before, because I can't decide what shows to watch.
Right.
You know, so I'm like, all right, sports.
And
I know
it's just a
to
good distraction from
It's nice,
the chaos of the world.
right?
It's just these two people against each other.
Right.
Yeah.
It's great.
I get that.
Yeah, I've been super into football lately, watching a lot of NFL games, even
Who do
starting to
you
watch
root
some
for?
college. So my teams are like obviously the Titans because I grew up in Nashville, right? That's always gonna be my number one. And moving to Chicago, I feel like I've adopted the Bears and all their problems.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to feel like a real Chicagoan, just depressed by the Bears.
That is a weird thing that makes you feel a part of the city when you become a part of the sports,
yeah, it's cool.
right? It's like a quick way to get rolled into the city's
I agree.
energy, if you will, right?
Right.
To start, Yeah,
I think it's weird.
but
that-
you're into them. It's not like you're
Absolutely.
just choosing them because you're there.
Right, and the Bears were never a rival of the Titans, so it's easy, to like the Bears. And they're in the NFC, and the Titans are in the AFC. If they were in the Super Bowl, I'm probably gonna want the Titans to win.
Yeah,
of
course.
But it would take something like
You
that.
fucking traitor.
Right, exactly. I think it's crazy though. I know a lot of
Does
comics.
your dad give you shit for pulling for the Bears?
No, he doesn't care enough about football for that. No. Yeah, I mean, he'll watch some, but I think it's weird though. I know a lot of comics that obviously have moved from other places, just like I did into Chicago, and they hang on to their original NFL teams and hate the Bears. Whatever they came from Detroit, the Lions, and they're like, "Fuck the Bears," or Packers fans, or. But I guess maybe it's different if they're in the same division. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, are there any fringe sports that would surprise me that you're into? Because I mean,
Probably not. I'm
you're
pretty basic
very
when it comes to
big,
sports.
imposing, scary man. If you told me, well, I watch a lot of croquet on ESPN.
Curling, actually.
Curling.
I can name all the best players.
Or what about tennis? Do you like tennis?
No, I don't like tennis at all.
Super gay.
It's very gay. It's gonna hit a ball with a little racket.
Yeah, what are the sports you hate? Let's do that.
Badminton. That's
Badminton,
a gay sport.
that's so dumb. And that ball, you can't. It's like, I don't know which way I want to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I could go this way, or I could go this way.
Except the ball does kind of look like a bomb, which is cool.
That is cool, but it doesn't act like a bomb.
It doesn't.
It's very dainty.
It's
very floaty.
It's a dainty bomb. Is what
yeah,
it is.
yeah. Could you imagine if we dropped a dainty bomb on Japan? Like, it's cute.
And they just knocked it to another town.
Went in the ocean. Damn it. It floated.
Damn it. That's what we get
All
for
right,
letting
so
the women build
badminton.
bombs.
What about what's a good one? Shuffleboard.
What
What about ping pong? You play ping pong?
I've played. It's pretty fun. I suck at it, but
Billiards?
I love pool. I'm also
Yeah,
not
you
good
have a
at
pool table at your house.
I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
No. Do you have a pool table in your Chicago home?
I do not. I know. There's a lot of good pool halls though.
You can be how do they say it when you have homes in multiple cities? Coastal, but not by pool table.
No, not by pool table.
You can only have one pool table.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a lot.
Right.
Really
Nah,
extreme.
2 pool tables. That's a bit much.
Now, I feel like I want to interview you a little bit. So
Okay.
now, does your dad give you shit for being in Chicago so much? Like, why are you never here?
No, he doesn't.
Like, where are you?
No, he understands.
Because you and your
probably
dad
likes-
are very close.
Yeah, he probably likes the break.
Oh,
You
he's
know.
like, shit. Thank God he's gone for a couple of
Yeah.
days.
Well, he's getting up there in age, and he's wanting to.
How old is your dad?
Let's see. He is.
Mine just turned 79.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. He would be 73, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's he's getting to the age where he wants to travel, do some other things and stuff like that.
Sick of you.
Right. Of course.
He's like, I've been around you
We're-
for
We're
73
sick-
years.
You ever build a business with your dad?
No.
Well,
Yeah.
you spend enough time with each
There
other.
was subtext in that I won't explore.
You spend enough time with each other,
Yeah, it's hard to do stuff with families, I think, for anybody, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I tried to do house flipping with my sister.
Mm,
And I didn't like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it does sound tough.
Yeah.
House flipping. That's just even by yourself. That seems like a really tough game.
She was the real estate agent, and I was the guy who knew how to fix things. So I was
Okay.
like, okay, we have two halves of the equation. You'll be the expert who knows how to find the deal
Okay,
and sell the deal and negotiate the deal.
Right.
And I'm going to be the dum-dum that knows how to chip up tile for fucking days on end in the kitchen. And then I'm just sweating my ass off going, I got fucked on this deal. I'm the only one here doing hard work.
yeah,
She just comes in at the end and goes, I love this paint color. Oh, it's going to be so good. So, yeah, it's hard to work with family. And then you build
Yeah.
resentments, and you don't want to resent your family.
right, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. It can be tough. We make it work though.
Well, so that's good. I was thinking that maybe he missed you, or that you're
No,
growing up in
it's-
Chicago,
it's-
becoming a super comedian.
Yeah, I wish. It's working out well though, because the way we film our videos, we can do multiples in one day. And I've also noticed that actually when we're working, we're actually a little more focused on it.
Right, because it's not just
it's like we got to get
all
this
the
done.
time.
You
We
know?
have a limited amount of time.
Right, and we have enough time where it's not rushed, but
Wanna make
we're
it good.
focused, right? We gotta make this happen, and we gotta
Yeah.
do all these things. Yeah,
I mean, you guys are old school professionals at this point.
we've been doing this so long.
How long have you been doing this?
So we started the channel in I would say the winter of 2008.
Wow. That's like at the beginning of YouTube.
Basically,
I think YouTube came out
it
in
launched in 05.
05, okay.
Launched in 05.
But it really didn't come shit until like 07.
Yeah, I don't think really anybody knew about I first heard about it in 06.
Right.
The way I heard about YouTube was
And it didn't work on a lot of phones.
right. No,
It was like
no phones. Yeah,
yeah.
no phones, just on your computer. I heard about it because this is how far back I go with YouTube. I heard about it because I asked a friend of mine when I was in high school. I was like, "How did you get that music video on your MySpace page?" And he was like, "Oh, I use this website called YouTube." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And that's how I discovered that YouTube exists.
We were still using MySpace in 05?
06, yeah.
Oh, God.
I think it was about 08 when the big transfer
You
happened.
still got one?
MySpace?
Yeah. I think every time I go back and check the login, like it goes to something, but it's not my. I don't know what it is
Huh.
anymore.
I'll have to look and see. Maybe I'm on there. I remember my name on there was John Rambo. So I've always been a gun nut. Yeah, exactly. Not a lot has changed.
We're up in Rambo's lair.
Yeah. I know a lot of comics back in the day used MySpace to get their stuff out there. Did you ever use it for like the professional side of doing stand-up?
No, I missed that boat totally. I was just watching another, Dane Cook starting to do more podcasts and stuff like that and talk about that more in depth. And God, I just remember seeing him do it. No, I remember I moved to LA in 2000, and I remember going on Dane's website, and he was the first guy, not just with MySpace and all that, but his digital, I guess you call it presence, was amazing from the get-go, because he was the only person I know who had his album to where you could play it, and it was using like a real-time player or something like that back then. But it still worked good, which was amazing for that time that audio would flow through the internet back then. Because that wasn't a thing. Streaming wasn't a thing back then. But
Right.
he had it figured out. He had
Interesting.
flash audio or streaming audio or something.
Wow.
And so it was a crazy thing that you could go to you didn't have to go to the store and buy the CD. You
Yeah.
could just go to his website and listen to the album.
Wow.
And I just remember being like, oh, fuck. This guy's fucking changing the game.
That's crazy. Because I know that album, the one that had the Kool-Aid Man joke on it, I think it's still the top grossing comedy album, right, of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, and he says this on the shows he's doing now, but he was just to put it anywhere. What was that you just broke?
No, it was the tube for the cigar.
He was the first post Dice and Steve Martin to do arenas.
Oh,
When
really?
he did 20,000, I guess at the Boston Gardens or whatever it
Okay.
is, 20,000 seats. I mean, nobody was doing that. It was like
Now there's tons of arena comics.
Tons, not tons, but a tons
well,
in comparison.
right.
There was one, and it was Dane,
Right.
and that was it. And nobody even came close until more recently.
Yeah,
And now I'd
that's
say there's probably, 10, 15, something like that.
Maybe, yeah. I got Matt Rife is the most recent one, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's doing arenas, isn't he? Right? Or is it theaters? Reasons, I think.
You know what's fun is to be asked about the most popular comic on the internet when you're a comedian.
Oh my God.
How
yeah.
fun is that?
It's so
Because
fun.
there's no ill will. I like the kid. I mean, I think he's very talented. But it's just one of those funny things where all of a sudden everyone goes, "Do you know who Matt Rife is?" Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I do.
Yeah. Also, odds are a comedian that's very commercially popular, comedians probably aren't going to be maybe crazy about their stand-up. I feel like most comedians, they like some of the more avant-garde type
No,
stuff.
if you
maybe,
hit the
or-
top of if you're at the top of the heat right next to Chappelle and Segura and all these guys at the top, well, then people are going to critique what you're doing and go,
True.
I put a microscope on this. I see some
Absolutely.
holes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, Matt Rife is a guy who blew up from the internet and everything. So it's different. Yeah, I mean, I've never been. I've always felt like it's a new world with the way that comics are making it now through like TikTok and all
So
that kind of
fast
stuff.
too. But now, Matt has been doing it since he was a child.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
Like 15, 14, something like that.
yeah,
So he's got 10 years under his belt,
right.
which is good. That's what you need. But the come up happened
Very fast.
over like 6 months or something like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what's weird about today is you can still have put in the time, but then the explosion is just like that
Right.
Oliver Anthony, the music guy.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
that guy wasn't doing shit.
Yeah.
Like at least Matt,
wasn't
he
even-
had 10 years
True.
in the game.
He wasn't even doing live shows. I
No,
don't
he's
think.
just, yeah,
Yeah.
and overnight.
Yeah. That song is great.
Politicians are talking about him.
Right. That's wild.
That's the weird thing about this thing now, right?
Yeah.
So it's just overnight you can do a thing and they're like, oh, now we love Hickok.
Yeah. Well, you know, Oliver Anthony, he's a fan of our videos. He reached out to us. And his dad's
It needs to
talk-
be right here where I'm sitting.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I thought about asking him,
And then
but
I'll come back and then I can say my ass touched Anthony,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oliver Anthony's ass.
He I heard him on, I think it was he said the Jordan Peterson podcast was going to be his last podcast or something. He's really weird about wanting to detach
I
from
think
the
that's
fame.
smart.
I think so too.
He's a young guy. He might say too much, say the wrong thing.
Right.
Fuck it up.
Let's kind of learn a little more maybe before he puts
Right.
himself out there too much.
Right.
Yeah, it's got
And figure out what he wants to say.
right. Well, yeah, that too.
I mean, I don't think he knew this was going to happen.
yeah, absolutely.
Can you imagine if all of a sudden everyone in the world was looking at you going, what is it you have to say, John? Go ahead. Yeah. You'd be like, I'm good. Can you go to the
Yeah.
next guy?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that's how he feels to a degree.
Yeah, I think
Like
so.
I've said everything I want to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've heard him even talk about that song, how the way it really sounds like an anthem. Like like when I heard that song, I was
Crazy.
like, some things are about to change in this country. You know what I mean? I think a lot of
What
people
really
had
got
that
me
feeling.
was watching the audience reactions.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Because the song is great and it makes you feel like this is an anthem. He's really saying something here, right?
It's powerful.
But we watched like this live, one of the first times he performed it, and the people are singing it like they're fucking mad and know that you are and know, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, people are fucking mad.
Right.
Like, so that's what made me feel like it was an anthem. Was like, that's why the song is doing so good, is because that's a sign of how fucking pissed off the
Absolutely.
country is. It's kind of,
Yeah.
it's a little scary when you realize, oh, this is very fragile.
And I think he's a little bit scared because of that, because he obviously believes in those things.
Sure.
But he
didn't want to fucking start a civil
But
war.
he's not like trying to be a cult leader.
No,
You know what I mean?
no.
So I think he's smart to kind of try to take a step back, to a degree, because it's he's already huge.
Yeah,
it's not
trying
going to hurt him.
process. That's okay, right?
Yeah.
I got the tip off. The clogged tip, I got it off.
Wait, that ruins it. It's done now. You got to throw it away. These are great though. Right?
Oh my God, it's so smooth.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know.
do. Yeah. I would say.
There's such a big difference between a good cigar and a bad
There
one.
is.
And I didn't
and
realize
you do
that.
want to smoke it a little slower. That's one thing I will say.
I didn't.
'Cause
I'm going hard on it.
you are going a little hard because it'll start to get hotter. And
It feels hot.
yeah, it's not as good when it's hot. So you want to, space
All right,
out.
fucking dad.
It's like, hey, you wanted to know. I'm teaching you about cigars, all right?
I know, I do.
I'm turning you
Oh,
into a
now
man.
I'm messing it up, taking this off.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do it that way. You want to.
Go off the fire.
That'll work, yeah. Or you can just kind of find the crease and. Yeah,
I got
we're-
excited.
We're teaching you how to be a man.
I got
smoking a
excited as
cigar.
I started sucking extra hard.
Yeah, you suck it too hard on it.
Bro, sometimes you suck it too hard. Yeah. I like this. Sometimes we just take it down.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a problem I have when I'm doing the gun videos. Is I'm terrified of dead air.
And comedy.
Comedy, too. I have work to do there
It's
too.
fun to
but
explore it.
absolutely.
Have you explored it?
Yeah, I've got.
Where
It's
you
something
use
I've.
silence?
It's something I used to be bad at that I've gotten not perfected, obviously, but I've gotten better at. and I feel way more comfortable with dead air and comedy than I do when I'm making a video for some reason. I don't know. I think it's because I can feel the room.
Yeah, on videos, you can feel them swiping away.
Right. They might not be. You might be doing great. They might be loving it, but it just always feels negative.
But videos feel like they're just like, they got to be just like hammer, 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 hammer. Like they got to be. I don't know if that's how you guys really do yours, but there's so many on the internet that are just
True.
There's no, like you're saying, dead air.
Right. And I think back to what I was saying about things kind of evolving with people wanting to go to live shows because things are so fast and reels and all this kind of stuff. I think the same thing will happen with internet content. The thing that the podcast boom that happened came out of people wanting longer form content.
I agree.
And then they kind of got distracted by, okay, now we want short form
stuff. It's
good
good to have both, I think.
I think it's going to come back around. Right.
Sometimes you're on the shitter and you need to slam through some videos.
It's all going to be there. You know how like I do this with music. You get into like a new band that you discover, right? And sometimes you obsess about them. You're like, oh, I love this. But then you kind of get burnt out. And you're kind of done with it. You never really go back. Mm-hmm. But then other times you obsess about it. And then you kind of, all right, I still like that. And then it's just in your rotation.
See, that's the danger of like a Matt Rife is that it's exciting and it's fun. But there's so much attention that now what he has to be careful of is people getting burned out on him and going, all right. I mean, my algorithm says I like Matt, and it keeps feeding me Matt videos, and I like Matt, but I've watched like 40 of these. And I'm sick of it. Right. Like there's this guy that I turned her on to where the guy does the dog voice.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that.
I think his name is Rockstar or whatever, and he does the dog voice. And so I started showing her them, and then the YouTube says, oh, he likes these videos, so they've been showing them to me nonstop, and now I'm starting to get kind of burned out on it.
Oh yeah, it happens. Yeah, right.
All right, I can't watch 2 of these every day.
Right. yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you just kind of want I want a new flavor.
Right. Absolutely.
You know,
it happens. Yeah.
Like music, like you get really into, like you said, already you get one and then you wear it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then sometimes that's when you know it's good if you wear something out and then you still eventually
keep coming back to
it. Yep.
Yeah. Who are you wearing out?
I don't know.
You're a hardcore rock dude. Like
metal. Yeah.
What the fuck I did is that about right?
Yeah, that song exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I don't listen to.
Yeah, let's Jesse, let's sample that and turn that into a death metal song.
Could you? Death metal. That's what it's called.
That'll be the intro for the podcast.
Metal, yeah.
That thing you just did. That's the intro now.
Yeah. What's the name of the podcast?
It's called Standard Capacity.
Standard Capacity.
Now you're doing James Hetfield. Yeah. I like it. Actually, I might use that. It's pretty good.
Go eat the end. It sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, look at it. Is that bad on a fucking $1,000 microphone?
No, I need $1,000.
Oh, we got these out back of the Best Buy was having a sale. But Best Buy isn't even the fucking Best Buy anymore. Did you notice that?
They've downscaled all of them.
Everything. You got to if you're looking for a physical item to leave with, it better be M&Ms.
Right,
because when you go in, you're like, I wanted to check out these speakers. Well, we can order those for you. Well, I can fucking do that too, asshole.
Right, yeah.
But we have M&Ms.
Yep. I got lucky when we were recording the last show, I forgot my SD cards. I was like,
that's
fuck.
Right.
And I was like, well, I just got to go to Best Buy and just get whatever they got. And I got lucky, and they had the 1 terabyte ones, which they normally don't carry. So there's some value in being able to, I got to get this right now. And you go down there and get it
to be there.
Right.
But there's so many places you go, and they're like, they pull out their little phone,
right?
And they're like, yeah, we have this. We can order this for you.
Yeah. It's like, I need it now.
But I drove over here.
Need it today.
I was hoping to leave with it.
Right. I mean, you watch Amazon, they've already got the same day delivery.
Yeah.
They're going to have the drones eventually.
So you're saying I fucked up by coming over here. Is that what you're saying? So I should have just ordered this from Jeff.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what that's like. A lot of those businesses will probably end up dying, I guess, right? I mean, everything is just online now, and you don't have to handle things yourself as much, or I guess not as many people want to, because you can watch a million reviews on YouTube.
That's how I do everything, right?
I do too. Yeah.
And then here's the thing: I don't make reviews,
Right.
so I'm trusting. I'm trusting other people to do what I've never done, whether it's good or bad.
Oh, right.
I've never, but I'll constantly go, well, this restaurant has 1,700 reviews, so that
Yeah.
must mean something.
And you have to be careful, because I know from being in that world of making reviews that there are people,
Fake reviews.
right, who are basically doing advertisements.
But are there 1,700 fake reviews?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, well, maybe.
That's what I go for. The odds are in my favor.
Yeah,
The numbers are up.
Absolutely.
If it's like 11 reviews, you're like,
Right.
all 11 of those could be their friends.
Right. Exactly. I'll tell you something. I'll give you a little insider info.
Life hack.
If you are looking up something that you want to buy, and you notice the date that the video was posted, and if you notice several other videos on that same thing that were posted on the same date, they're all ads.
No shit.
Because what happens
Like just
is,
you talking about influencer type people going,
Right.
I'm going to review this phone today.
right? Because what happens is the company
send it
send
out.
it, and they tell them this is not going to be released until this time. So release your video on this day. And
So
then
they have a flood of people talking about
right,
this new phone or new device.
right, exactly. So that's something to
makes
watch
sense.
out for.
I guess we're all suckers
Yeah, we are.
at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of bullshit out there, isn't there?
Oh man,
I mean,
it's getting harder and harder to tell.
I have a child, and I just tell her all the time, I'm like, everything in this thing is not real.
Right.
Don't believe any of it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But it's all in there.
it is all in there.
Everything is
Anytime
in
you
there.
want to know something, you're like, let's go to this thing.
Right.
But then I tell her, don't believe it.
Yeah. Well, it's like the news. I've got to where I don't even watch the news really anymore.
It's upsetting.
It is. It is.
I watched the news yesterday here, and the first 3 stories were 3 different murders.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
That's
was like, I was eating dinner. I was like, I feel sad. I feel so sad.
yeah. And that's like older people talk about, oh, back in the day you could leave your door unlocked. You couldn't do that then. Crime and stuff was still happening. It's just you didn't hear about it as much.
That's
So you
probably
weren't
true.
As afraid of it.
That's probably true.
We just know too much.
We do.
Like
We have information overload.
right, like Chicago seems way more dangerous than it is, just because it's a massive city.
Right.
So yeah, there's all kinds of crazy crime happening all
But
the
it's
time.
not at your house.
Right. Not
It's like 2 doors down.
right. Yeah, literally. When I first moved in to my place,
Yeah.
there were 11 armed robberies in the same night within like a 2-hour span, right around where I live.
Right. That's how it was in LA. It was like these 2 blocks are okay, but then 2 blocks over, it gets really bad for 2 or 3 blocks, and then it gets okay again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Crazy.
section by section.
How does that even work? That you'd think they would,
Yeah.
go into the other areas and cause crime.
I don't know. I guess enough good people get into an area and it's okay.
Right. Part of it, I think, maybe the police have more of a presence in the certain areas too. It's probably part of it. I bet.
Rounding them some bitches up.
Yeah, exactly. There's been a thing that's been happening in Chicago lately, not far from where I live. Apparently, is where it's prevalent. Is people just going into a bar middle of the day and sticking it up and robbing the bar and everyone in there.
Like when it's at lunch.
Yeah,
Oh,
isn't that crazy?
people are still
Yeah.
crusty from the night before, and they just showed back the regulars. They just started again. What?
That's some guy coming
God
with a gun.
damn it! Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just what was on the regular on Cheers? Norm. It's
Oh,
Norm.
right, yeah.
What the fuck?
That seems like a sketch idea right there. If Cheers took place in Chicago.
Yeah. Down, motherfuckers. Yeah. What can you get from a bar during the day?
You can drink.
Seems like at night it would be, and the cash was heavy.
Yeah,
Seems like
true.
Seems like a bad. Like you ever
Well, the
go in a
people, I
bar
guess,
and there's
in
like
there.
2 fucking regulars that are drunk at the bar. You ever go to a bar during
yeah.
the day?
Oh,
It
yeah, all the
smells
time.
weird,
Right, yeah.
and there's nothing happening. The bartender's just scrolling TikTok on his phone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold this place up. We had $16 so far, you jackass. Why don't you come back at 2?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have like $8,000.
Yeah, we ain't got nothing.
They haven't even started yet, you dumbass.
Have you seen that failed robbery video that went viral, like, I don't know, about a month or so ago, where a guy went in to rob someplace, had a gun, and like everyone was like, no. he just bombed at robbing.
Bombed at robbing.
Yeah, no one gave him anything, and he just.
No, we don't believe you. We don't believe you're lethal.
Yeah, exactly.
We think you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Everybody in there was just badasses.
Right.
A whole restaurant full of badasses.
Yeah, apparently.
That'd be like walking in the mafia restaurant accidentally, try to hold that plate. There's movies have done that, but
Right.
fuck.
Or
Can
like
you
a
imagine? You
cop
get a
bar.
wild hair up your ass, you're broke. I'm gonna go fucking rob that Italian restaurant down the street.
Yeah.
And everybody's in there going, let me tell you something.
Yeah. I'm
You
gonna
came
go,
to the wrong place.
I'm gonna go rob that bar. For some reason, allows smoking inside, even though it's illegal in the city. I'm gonna go rob that one.
Yeah, that one where everybody's smoking.
Yeah. Even though you're
Some
not.
loose shit going on in there.
Right, yeah. The one where they have that machine in the back that may or not be gambling.
That's true. They got a couple of video poker machines back there.
Yeah.
That's got money.
Oh, yeah. That's an interesting little thing that happens is they have those, they have those little things in bars where you play the games on them. There's some of those that secretly have games for money on them.
Yeah.
What I've heard.
So you found them?
No, I've just heard about it.
It's in Chicago.
I knew a
There's
bar.
a lot
owner
of
that
great
did it.
folklore of Chicago, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure when you go to bars, and you're down in some basement, they're like, "Hey, such and such mafia boss got whacked right over there in the corner."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is at least once a week, there's this mic I do about once a week, and I
That's an open mic for people who are older.
right, yeah, an open mic. It's where you go to try. Mark hates that because back in his day it was an open mic.
Wait, we had to say both words.
Right, and we're
Go
just like,
ahead.
no, we're just gonna say one word. It's hard
Yeah,
enough we
I'm
have
doing
to.
a mic. No, it's like you're trying to make it sound less shittier
Right.
than it is. An open mic is shitty.
Oh, it's the
A
worst.
mic is cool. We're doing a mic.
Right.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
exactly.
Doing a mic.
Sometimes I'll do even worse than that. I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna do some spots tonight. But
I'm
it's
gonna
only
do
mics.
some spot, which really makes you sound like you're somebody, like you're
Right.
Nate doing a couple. I'm gonna do a couple spots around
Right.
town.
Well, I do that sometimes if someone doesn't like someone that's not involved in comedy, if I'm talking to them or something like that. Because to me, it's like I want them to know that I'm like serious about this. If I'm like,
Right.
I'm going to go do an open mic to someone who doesn't understand comedy, that sounds like, oh, you're trying this
You're starting
for the first time. It's
Yep.
like, no. I do shows. This is just where I'm working out stuff on a regular
Right.
basis.
I'm a pro. I
Well,
work
I'm
clubs.
not a pro, but
You get paid for it.
yeah, but I can't make a living off of it.
If you get paid for it, you're a professional. That's all that matters.
All right, well, you heard it here first, Marc Ryan.
You get a check for it, you're a
Yes,
professional.
It's true. That's
That's
true.
it.
I do get checks on a regular
Yeah.
basis. So
I mean, if I get one check in a year, this is how I do it.
okay.
If for some reason, which just hasn't happened very much in 34 years of doing stand up, but if I don't do a lot of stand up in that year for whatever reason, as long as I have done some in a year's calendar, I'm still a stand up.
Okay.
Still professional.
All
As
right.
long as it's
We
on
go
my
with that.
fucking 1099. If I'm reporting it on my taxes,
Right.
I'm a professional.
Okay.
So you get paid.
All right. Fair enough. But I was gonna say I drive by where Dillinger got shot every time I leave that mic going back to my place,
When
which
you
is
think about it.
it's just cool. It's that I live in a place where I just happen across where
Right
Dillinger
there.
got killed.
Yeah.
How
How did he get killed?
they ambushed him as he was leaving a movie, and he got shot in the
Do you know what
alley.
he was seeing?
Yeah, it was called Manhattan Melodrama. It was like a gangster movie,
Mm.
of course, right?
Wow.
There's a famous line that I love. You ever seen the movie Public Enemies?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, there's this line
This is
in
like
there.
the 30s, 40s?
No, this is a more recent movie. It came out maybe 20 years ago, but it's got Johnny Depp where he plays John Dillinger.
Okay.
It's great. It's incredible, and it's very historically accurate too. And they filmed it on location. Like they filmed the scene where he gets shot. They filmed it where he got shot. They
Okay.
put down. Actually, I've talked to some locals that I know, and they said they remember when they were filming it. They put down the stuff to make it because all the roads were brick, back in the day, and they made it look like the old street and everything. But there's this great line from that movie where they have this woman that's going to set him up, right? and they know he's going to a movie, but they don't know which movie. And there's 2 different theaters showing movies, and one of them was a Shirley Temple movie. The other one was this gangster pick melodrama, and they were trying to decide. They were going to have guys go to both, but this one guy who's just like real crusty, old, like fed, and he goes, "Dillinger ain't going to no Shirley Temple movie."
Right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine them at like a 24-plex these days? Which theater's in?
Right.
There's 24 of them.
That's right.
They had 2.
Yeah, that'd be
Shirley Temple and 1.
Right.
That guy was a...
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Yeah, he was right. I would agree with that sentiment.
Definitely.
I don't even know the whole story.
I know. I've never seen that movie.
Shirley Temple, that's on the Lollipop, whatever that movie where she was a little girl and it was highly weird. If you watch it now,
probably
that movie.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Little tiny made up girl with the makeup on and all that.
Yeah,
sitting on dudes' laps.
There's some creepy stuff. Hollywood. A little bit creepy.
Yeah, a little bit creepy back in the day.
You probably know because you lived there.
Yeah. I mean, what about this comes around full pressure to the beginning. We were talking about rear end pressure.
That's right.
Full circle is what I meant to say.
A lot of rear end pressure in Hollywood.
A lot of rear end pressure in Hollywood to comply.
Yeah, look up what happened to the girl from the Poltergeist movie. Let's not talk about it, but if you want to know, look it up.
Go down that wormhole.
Yeah. Whenever you are living in LA, I've always I love stand up and I love being around comics. I don't like the kind of like your typical showbiz type personality type guy. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? Like those guys that you
like
feel
a Hollywood kind of guy.
Well, just guys that are just feel like they're just fake all the time.
Success.
What? You know what I'm talking about?
the showbiz guys.
Yeah, well, they're just always like they're always on, and it feels like they're always trying to sell you something, and you can't just be real with them. And I hate that part
Selling
of it.
You something.
Yeah, I hate that part of it. And sometimes you have to deal with those people, and you have to be nice and all that kind of stuff. Even though I don't know, it's always to me, I've always felt a little bit insulted when someone is kind of going overboard being fake in a situation where there's really no reason for it.
Well, they don't know who you are.
True, I understand.
That's how, you're in Hollywood, Los Angeles, you're in a town with 15 to 20 million people. And any one of them that you're sitting down with at a party could be the guy who gives you the next job. And so everybody's in a fake, not taking anything away from what you're saying because it's fake and gross. But everybody's operating under like, hey, look at this guy. Maybe
Right.
But in Chicago, that's not so much. Or New York, that's not so much.
Okay.
Definitely not here in Nashville.
Right. Absolutely.
People don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The New York. I feel like if I went to New York or LA, I would enjoy New York. Just the comedy.
Yeah, New York's
there.
a very serious comedy town. Meaning serious as in they're there to work on the craft,
right?
Make the jokes better and make the stand up better. Whereas a lot of times in LA, it's I'm an actor down here doing some stand up, hoping to get recognized for another part or another movie or.
I've heard
it's not for the sake of the stand up. Whereas in New York, it's very pure.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I've heard that during the which I guess was probably before your time, but I heard that the like the sitcom boom, which I guess would have been like the mid '90s, I guess, or something like that.
That's not before my time.
Well, you see, I think it moved to LA in 2004.
2000.
Right? Oh, in 2000.
2000.
Okay, so I guess it was right in the middle of that then.
Yeah.
Because I heard it was
that was what you did.
Different time then. Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid watching comics, all my favorite comics were on sitcoms. Robin Williams was Mork and Mindy.
Oh right. Yeah.
And then on to Seinfeld and Tim Allen and Roseanne Barr. And
right.
So all my favorite comedians did comedy until they got a sitcom.
That was the TikTok of the day.
That was the move. You become a famous stand-up, and then you get a sitcom, and then you become really rich and famous.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
But that's not the model anymore. I love that most guys are just ignoring that model altogether.
Right. Absolutely.
Because it kind of makes those Hollywood types powerless.
That's true. It takes a lot of power away from them.
I love that.
Absolutely. But
I love that because they're not that funny.
Right.
Or creative.
Right. And they don't have great taste a lot of the time.
No, they don't.
There's so many stories about that. About like Nirvana, for example, right? No one thought they were going to be successful. No one wants to hear that, and then they blew up, and then now they want everything like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just listening to Tim Dillon talking about having a meeting at CBS like just weeks ago during this strike that's going on, which is kind of controversial to have a development meeting during a strike for a possible show or whatever. And the way he was relaying, even it's him at his high level, he was relaying that, they were just so fake and we're so happy you're here. And he's, Tim Dillon, you've seen him. He's pretty straightforward. Well,
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure you're not going to like doing a show with me.
Right.
But just hearing him relay how fake they still are, this is just a few weeks ago, it makes me happy I left because I'm just like, nothing's changed.
Right.
They think you're somebody, so they treat you like somebody just in case you are somebody, but they don't mean it.
Right.
So just in case Tim does blow up, they're going to be all fake and like, Tim, we're so excited you're here. We love you, and everybody here loves you, and we want to do something with you. But that's just shit they say to you.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had that experience. Yeah, a lot. It's just I don't know.
With the YouTube side.
Yeah. Well, especially
Because you guys have
especially in comedy,
a strong position, and they probably come to you, and we're so excited that you're doing this, or you're at this conference, or you and your dad. We're so excited your dad and you are here.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you've gotten a lot of that fake fucking
Absolutely.
bullshit. Yeah,
and it's so refreshing when someone's just like, "Hey, what's up? How's it going?" You know what I mean? You're just like, "Oh, nice."
I can just talk to this person.
Yeah, exactly. I understand that there's a utility in being fake. Some certain situations with people that are like very in business and that kind of thing, where you don't want to reveal too much, or you got to be neutral, like you were saying before, because you don't know what's going to happen or whatever. But still, I feel like there's a thing where what do you lose by just being like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Right. Another thing that's weird in LA is the politics of it all. Like, if you have opinions that are outside of theirs,
right,
you got to hide those.
Yeah, which brings me to the next point I was going to bring up is the new gatekeeper is now. So what you were saying before, the internet has taken power away from the Hollywood types, right? But the new gatekeeper now is the algorithm, which is actually controlled by an even smaller group of people.
Well, isn't it the computer?
No, it's the platforms.
But AI. There's
true.
People
well,
running
true, but it's
algorithms.
Programmed by
the computer's telling the people, "Hey, this is what's important."
Right, but it's. I guess I mean more like the community standards that are established on certain platforms.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that is what impacts the algorithm in a negative way. Now, the algorithm being when we first got started on YouTube, the algorithm was
wide
pure.
open.
It was pure. It was based on how much attention is this video getting, how many people are watching it, liking it, commenting on it. Right, that's what makes something being shown, and there was no extra stuff in there. I don't feel like but not anymore.
It was wide open.
Not anymore. Now they can push things that push an agenda they want to push. They can
push yours down.
Exactly, and obviously guns. It's something we've struggled with that.
Absolutely.
My Instagram is it's just been dead for over a year because of posting guns. It's very frustrating because as soon as they released reels and I started posting reels, my Instagram started skyrocketing. I was getting thousands of new followers.
Because they want reels to push out.
Exactly.
It's whatever they want to push out, they'll push out.
Exactly. But then when they figured out that I was posting guns, then it all stopped.
Yeah.
And I know that it happened because it was like overnight. I mean, I was getting thousands of new followers every day, and then just all of a sudden it was like a switch was turned off, And now they're more honest about it. You can actually go in your settings and it'll show you, we're not, showing anyone that's not followers your page.
Yeah. Yeah, we're shutting you down.
Yep, exactly. It's very frustrating. Luckily, YouTube is not quite as bad as Instagram, but still something that you have to deal with. It's very frustrating.
No, I've wondered a lot of times, like how you guys do it, because I'm sure you have to change things and take this little thing out because they didn't like that.
Well, we actually have never done that. We've never taken anything out. We have had some videos removed.
Because I've seen more recently
permission, but
one of my favorites, Whistling Diesel, has been been cracked down on more and more. Like I've
Really?
seen him post on his reels. Well, I was going to put a video up today, but they demonetized it, so we're working on it. We're kind of trying to correct it. And then he'll put in his videos like a black screen with YouTube made us remove this scene, and it'll just be a few seconds.
Interesting.
But it makes you realize, like, God dang, even he's just got cars.
Right.
And they're like, well, that's not appropriate. You're doing.
It's crazy. It's weird. It's like we're back to censorship.
You're not allowed to do that with an expensive car. What the fuck? He destroyed a Ferrari. Really?
Right, who cares?
It's his fucking to destroy.
Right, it's his money.
Yeah.
It's funny. That's one thing that sometimes people don't understand is we get this with the shooting watermelons. People are like, oh, you're wasting that food.
Oh, people could have been eating that.
Right. It's like, first of all, you know.
Do you know how much food is thrown away?
Oh, yeah. Crazy amounts.
You're starting with me?
Crazy amounts. And also the ammo costs more than the damn watermelons. Right?
And you're not mad about that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nuts. And when a guy destroys a Ferrari and gets, 25 million views, he's making money. He's making that money back.
So, who's the smart guy?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Exactly.
guy who burned the Ferrari down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's nuts. He does some wild stuff.
I love it. I love it.
That's
You need to
cool.
have him right here, too.
I know, yeah.
You got a lot of people you got to get on this.
I know, I do.
Yeah.
I do. But we got Marc Ryan. So
I know, but how long does this go? I got to piss.
Oh, you got to piss? You want to just take a break and piss?
Do we do piss breaks on this podcast?
Yeah, we can do a piss break.
All right, let's do a piss break.
Okay. All right, piss break. We're back.
That was good.
Yeah,
I appreciate you holding it because I was like, this thing is so heavy. I was like, I went back down halfway down the hall. I was like, John, get in here and help me reel this fucking snake out.
Yeah, I had to show you I'm a big, strong man.
Yeah, pretty good. Awesome. Thank you. And I appreciate you letting me just really hose down the studio bathrooms.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. This is a nice facility you have here, and I just destroyed it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, this is the we're in the garage of Jesse.
That's what you tell people. I was trying to make you sound important, like you're at a big
this is actually a warehouse.
in Nashville. It's 18,000 square feet.
Yeah.
The rest of it's filled with guns and cars.
Yeah, exactly.
You do have cars.
I do.
Yeah.
I've thought about getting rid of them because I don't have time for them. I'm not sure. I'm not decided on it yet.
That's a tough call, right? They do require attention.
They do. They require a lot of time. It's like
People don't realize that car. You just think a car just sits there.
Right, but you got to maintain it.
You got to run it.
Right, you got to drive it, and it's not even. I can't really do work on it myself, but you got to take it in, it's things done to it, and it's just a lot.
How many old cars do you have at this point?
Like I would say 2.5.
2.5.
A half. I'll say the half because 1988. Does that count as old?
Yeah, but I mean, when you say half, like it's not running. Like I got one that's half apart.
Yeah.
Two that run.
Oh, if we're talking not running, it's like 1.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got a '67 Wildcat, 4-door, and it needs work, but it runs. Everything's good.
How did you decide? Because I know if you get a little bit of cash, and you're like, I'm gonna start collecting some old cars. With that first one, that's a big deal. Like, what do you do? You go something that I know or something that I used to wish about, dream about? Like, how do you decide?
It was actually kind of an opportunity thing because most of the time, most of the cars that we love, right, that are known, I got a '69 Chevelle or a 64 GTO or whatever. Those are the most expensive ones.
Right. So you got to picking off.
Yeah. So
brand.
What happens is exactly an off brand.
Yeah, you got to get a Cutlass or something like that.
Right. Which I learned there's a downside to that though. The upside is you can get a much nicer car and sometimes all original or better shape for way less money. Downside is parts and things like that are harder to find.
come by because it's not a mainstream.
Right.
It's not a Charger.
Exactly.
Or a Camaro.
Well, like for example, if
you could build a Camaro just with
a
parts that you
'69
ordered.
Camaro, oh man, absolutely.
From ground up.
Oh yeah,
all from redone parts.
Because it's one of the most famous antique cars.
They have everything.
The '55 Bel Air. You go on eBay right now and you can find 1 million parts and everything you can imagine. They're very expensive because they're highly desirable. But man, you have no problem finding stuff for those.
But the car you have is hard to find.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
I heard Leno prints parts,
you can do that.
like 3D print.
and that's gonna really help the classic car industry. Like for example, so my first antique car was a.
Now, what does it mean when it's still smoking, but it's not a lot?
It just means it's kind of trying to go out, probably.
Fucking son of a bitch.
Yeah. Now sometimes
Where's the fire?
here we go. Sometimes it can mean that the cigar is not drawing well, but that's not going to happen with these. These are very.
All right, now
well
what were
done.
you saying? I interrupted car
No, you're
talk.
good. Yeah, what the hell? Car talk. No one interrupts car talk. I was saying, damn, now I forgot.
See,
I was talking.
saw that.
Yeah, you fucked it
Saw
up.
that. Sucked it right out of your head.
Is
Is there any on your wish list that you haven't gotten?
Well,
that you think about? A
Yeah,
lot?
so my first car was a 1969 Buick Skylark, and I would like to get one again.
Why did you get rid of the one you had?
So the one I had, it was built as a drag racing car.
Now, why does mine look so fucking ragged and yours is still together?
Because you're doing something dumb with it. You're doing something wrong with
Why
it.
am I dumbing it up?
I don't know. I don't know what you're doing.
Yours
but
looks so cool.
It's 100% operator error. No question about it. Because some cigars will blow up on you. These don't do that.
No, it still tastes great. I
Yeah.
just think it's something autistic I'm doing.
Yeah,
with
you're
it.
doing something crazy with it over
I
there.
have some special needs activities
Exactly.
going with my cigar.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'll tell you, this is how crazy I am, right? So this is probably gonna bore people, you maybe, but
I'm sick of it already.
all right. I love old cars, and I want to get a '69 Skylark again. I sold the original one that I had because it was a drag racing car, and it needed too much work to get it back where it was fun to drive on the road.
Okay.
It was super fast.
It was set up for the track,
right
straight away.
It was geared in a way where
the rear end. Yeah,
back to that again.
yeah, back to the rear end.
Yeah.
No hopping.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't want to get it hopping.
No.
Gotta get straight injection. In here. What?
It's fast though. I'll tell you what.
So it was set up for the track.
Right. And it was tough to drive. Like if you wanted, even
Yeah.
50 miles an hour was just kind of uncomfortable.
Right.
So
you want a street Skylark,
right?
like something you can drive.
I want it to feel fast.
Something
but
you
I
can
wanna,
daily drive.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
not daily drive, but something I could actually like cruise down the road. You
Yeah.
know? And that's how my Wildcat is, because it's all original. So it cruises great. I mean, I could take it on the interstate.
But
Everything.
all original, if everybody throws on their brakes in a Hyundai, you're going right through that motherfucker.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, because they're stopping on a dime and you're stopping tomorrow.
You got to play. Yeah, you got to plan it way
after
ahead.
you've plowed through their fucking ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an 88 Suburban that was that way.
That's right. Those are cool.
I love that thing, but it just became dangerous to drive because of the cars. They can just stop instantly.
Right.
And I couldn't bring all that 88 steel to a stop that quick.
Yeah.
It would just like, as a matter of fact, I had a situation in Louisiana when I was driving the 88. I had two four-wheelers on a trailer behind me, and it was raining, and everybody just dead stops in front of me. I hit the brake, and it's like I picked up speed. I started, and I just fucking jammed this fucking Ford F-150 down into the ditch,
geez.
like it was like it was a bumper car. I just, and I just had a little dent into my bumper, and the whole back end of this Ford F-150 was just aluminum, just fucking. This is my Chevy fucking steel. It's just like, who buys an aluminum fucking pickup truck?
Right.
What kind of asshole? Sorry, that's gonna upset a lot of people.
Is your truck aluminum? He doesn't know, so it's
Do you have
probably
a
aluminum.
Ford?
He doesn't.
Okay. I'm a Chevy guy.
Yeah, I'm a GM guy as well.
Yeah, I know you are. You got a badass fucking blacked out, black on black on black.
Yukon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything's
thanks.
fucking murdered out.
I love it.
I do
I bought
too.
it that way too.
You got to get one of those black plates.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, black license plate.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, to go with your black on black.
Damn, that would be cool. I should
Black
do that.
on black.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, so I was gonna tell you about this. So I want to get a 69 Skylark again, right? I would actually trade the Buick that I have for one if I found the right deal. But I have a steering wheel for a 69 Buick Skylark it has one crack in it, but it's like incredible condition. and that's such a rare item to find is a original steering wheel because here's the thing: all those steering wheels cracked. A lot
Where
of
do
them
they
did,
crack? At the
just all around in different spots.
I was thinking they left them really open, so you'd have a lot of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might crack down. But you could epoxy do that? Could you maybe put a little epoxy, sand it down?
I think it's more complicated than that. But this one is in immaculate shape. Like I said, it only has one crack. Like the one in my Buick, it's got cracks everywhere. And I bought it because a lot of times when you buy these cars, they have aftermarket steering wheels or it's all cracked up. So my thought is one day I'm going to get another one and I've got a good steering wheel.
I've got the steering
so
wheel.
I can actually buy a cheaper one that doesn't have a good steering wheel because I got one. That's my thought,
Okay, so it's all based on the steering wheel.
Yep.
That's a lot.
No, it's not all based on the steering wheel. I just have an advantage because I already have it.
Yeah.
And that's a rare item to have because if you have a good steering wheel, it's probably going to be on the car still.
Yeah.
You can't.
That's what I want to do. What you said makes a good point. There's so many cars that are popular, but you make a good point. It's hard to get the parts, but I want to find that off car that no one gives a shit about.
Right. Those are cool because you don't, you see
Like it was like a Rambler for a while, right? Like
yeah.
no one gave a shit about it, but now Ramblers are popular. It was like, what's the car that no one gives a shit about?
Yeah, I'm almost anything get you.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? AMC has a couple of cars like the Rambler
Right.
that people have done. Do you see? I can't remember what the guys' names are, but they stretched the Rambler's wheelbase out a little bit.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
but
know
that
which
is
one
sweet.
that looks like?
I
Bring it up,
I
producer.
can't picture it. Yeah, we're not there yet.
No, we got the 70-inch screen that's playing the porn.
We do. That's right. Yeah.
It's still going too.
You won't stop looking at it.
Well.
Yeah. At least put some straight porn on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right? Come on.
Come on. This is the straight podcast.
Yeah. Come on. Smoking cigars.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great. We can smoke in there. Can't smoke in my Chicago apartment, unfortunately. I tried.
I know you had complaints.
Oh, I told you about that, right?
Yeah, you got somebody who was like, and then you said,
Upstairs neighbor got upset. I can talk shit. This is what's fun about this podcast is I can talk shit about my upstairs neighbor on this one.
yeah, because they don't.
I can't. I
There's
can't.
a pretty good chance they're not watching.
Right. They're not watching, but they might be listening.
But
know what I'm saying?
did tell the manager who came and said they're smoking cigars. You were like, I don't know. I had some electrical problems.
Yeah, I said it was probably an electrical issue.
Probably you probably have an electrical issue. There's not anything happening in here.
Yeah,
I like that you
definitely
just
not.
put it right back on him.
I did.
Nah, that's not me. That's you.
What I hate about it was they said I told you this, but they said that it smelled like burning plastic. Mm-hmm. Right.
And you're like, I smoke much better cigars than that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my fear was like, the guy from Tennessee moved to Chicago. He's smoking meth or whatever. Is it meth that smells like burning plastic or crack?
You would know. I wouldn't.
Are you from LA though?
What? It'd be,
I don't know. One of them does.
crack. Crack is popular in LA. Meth is a middle America.
Oh,
popular.
you're right. Okay, you're
I
right.
don't think LA people are too cool to do meth.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing designer shit.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Meth
Some
is like
cocaine with some fentanyl in it.
right there. You go. Yeah.
They're not fucking around with that meth.
Yeah.
That's for losers.
Yeah. We're trying to just stay up all the time.
Yeah, we're trying to die over here.
Yeah. We're not trying to be productive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was hoping that maybe this podcast would include maybe a couple of little fentanyl bumps.
I know. Yep. Snort a couple lines of fentanyl.
Yeah, a couple of lines of fentanyl for you.
Yeah. Nothing extreme.
Head out on a wild night in Nashville.
Yeah. Exactly.
You must get recognized a lot down here in Nashville.
I don't know.
When you go
Every
to
now
the
and
bars? No?
then. Every now and then. Yeah, it happens. I got.
Do they call you the gun dude? That's fucking gun dude right there.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're like, "Oh, are you Hickok?
Oh,
Hickok son?"
This guy's armed
So I
right
get-
here.
Right? Yeah. Oh man, I was with Dad one time at a cigar bar, and this guy recognized Dad and was like, "Oh, Hickok 45." He's like, "Oh, will you sign my gun?" And he starts pulling a gun out of his backpack, right in the middle of this cigar bar. It was pretty
What
crazy.
was it?
I can't remember. I think it was like a. It was a
Glock or
Ruger. I
something?
think it was a Ruger P85. Actually, now I think about it.
What? Now you sign it with a black Sharpie, you can't see it. You got to get a silver Sharpie or
I
a
think he
gold
just-
Sharpie
I
for
think
that.
he- yeah,
And then you got to spray paint over it a little bit to hold it.
That's right. Yeah, I think he just signed the case. I'm pretty sure, but yeah.
Have you signed weird shit? Have you signed some titties?
You know what? I did actually
Couple
one
titties.
time. I did actually.
Yeah, right at the top.
Yeah.
It's the best spot. It gets messy on the nipple.
Yeah. You know what the worst part about was? I signed some titties, but it was at a comedy show, and the headliner fucked her.
How did that go down? But when were you? I'm thinking about the headliner having sex, looking at your name, John Hickok,
I know.
on that right titty.
I was
What
thinking,
is that about?
good. He'll remember my name, and maybe he'll ask me to do a show or something. You know?
That was my feature act of it. Who's that guy on the left titty? Who's Eddie Rabbit? Who's that guy?
That was the guest spot.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it sounds like rock star thing to say signed titties, but most of the time the truth is the titties are upsetting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta roll them up.
Oh, it actually is hard to sign a titty.
It's hard. You gotta stretch it out.
It is. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
There's a lot of pin skippage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of did. The side. So it was easy to.
Yeah, side titty.
Yeah, it was the right one. It was.
It was the right one.
Yeah, it was definitely the right
It
one.
was the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he cussed you all night long.
Nah.
Who is this Hickok motherfucker?
Yeah.
That's your feature act. It's funny that he had to look at that. You never thought about the fact that he had to look at
Oh
your
no,
name?
I gave him shit about it the next
And
night.
what did he say?
Yeah, I was like, well, I don't. I was like,
And how much did he regret this?
I don't know. He was pretty cool. He was a nice guy.
He was pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
He's like, I got some strange from an audience.
Yeah. I told him I was like, he's like, no, that was my titty. I hope you respected it.
That's wild.
Yeah.
What
Actually,
town was this in?
this is Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew it.
You've been there a few times.
I have. One
You're
of my
big time in
regular spots.
Arizona.
I'm a big guy in Arizona.
Gary Bynum, right? Is it the Bynums?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Tell Gary I said I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. It's a great club.
I'd like to come back if you forgive me
Okay.
for whatever he's upset at me about. I don't even know what it is at this point. It's just 33 years of resentment.
Oh damn. I'll put in a good word next time I'm out
Yeah.
there.
No, I wouldn't bring my name up around him if
don't?
if you want to remain in a peaceful conversation.
Okay. All right.
It could turn into, oh, you know that motherfucker? You know that mother. I tell you what, you tell that motherfucker he owes me. Yeah.
Well, his sons run it now, so maybe they like you.
Yeah, sons. I mean, generations change things.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. Some people get old.
Yeah.
Crotchety.
Yep. I like going out west. I love it.
Well, has there been anything in stand-up that ever made you think like, fuck, I don't know if I want to do this anymore? Has there been a show or a moment or like where you're like,
I will say there was a period of time about, I don't know, maybe somewhere between 2 and 4 years ago. I've probably kind of blocked it out, but
yeah, you have to.
There was a period of time where I was kind of, I kind of had this weird moment where I was doing a lot of really edgy material when I first started. Right, had some bumps in the road because of that. Even though I was kind of pretty good at it, I felt like.
You do fun. I like it. I've seen you do edgy stuff.
But
yeah.
I've toned it down a lot. I've toned it down a lot just because I want to work, And there was a period where I was kind of trying to reinvent myself, I guess, to a certain degree. And there was a time where I thought, maybe I'm not funny enough to do this, And I had that thought for a little while, but I stuck with it, and then things got better. And yeah, I mean, I still will have a bad show occasionally, but yeah, I mean, obviously there's work to be done. But
what's your draw to the edgy material?
It's just fun. I have fun talking about that stuff.
You like
on stage.
pulling it off.
Yeah, and I like. It's not even shocking the audience that I enjoy. I think there's some comics that are only after shocking the audience.
Yeah.
I like being able to take something that makes people uncomfortable and then but find a way to
That's what I
make
said,
it
like
silly.
pulling it off.
Right, yeah,
You like teeing it off and having them be like, "What the fuck?"
right,
And then you pull them around to a laugh.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good feeling.
It is. It's a great feeling.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I used to do a joke, and it was always it always worked, but it was terrifying to tee up because you didn't know how the audience, and the tee up was, I don't feel like I can express my blackness enough.
Okay.
And if you did that in a half black room in like Dallas, you'd
Right.
have a bunch of people going, okay,
Where's this going?
yeah, what you about to say?
Right.
And then you pull it off and they're laughing. It's great, which most of the time it was. But,
Right.
if you get to the other side of it and it's not, you're like, oh, fuck.
It's like, oops.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, when
So
you
it's
bomb
like a
on those-
tightrope. It's like walking out on a tightrope and pulling it off. It's exciting.
is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I had a joke that I will sometimes do in my act, and it's a little bit more controversial, or it's not controversial, but it's like darker, And for some reason, I decided to do it at this show I did recently because there weren't a ton of people in the audience. It just felt, all right, fuck it, I'll go for it. And I thought it was going to go really bad because in the setup, I was getting audible like groans and like ohs. And I was like, oh, it's not a good sign, but I'm in too deep now. And I went ahead and just finished the joke, and it did great. I couldn't believe it. It was like, okay. Because normally they're either kind of on board pretty early on or not with that one. But yeah, that was a really good feeling because they hated it. They hated it. But then when they saw where it went, and they're like, all right, this is kind of fun.
The best at that right now for a long time is Louis, right?
Oh, Louis is so good at it.
Louis, yeah.
Yeah.
My friend who's here, I've just never seen him before.
Really?
I'm like, hey, let's just put on one of his specials. He walks out on stage. So, abortion is tough, right? Or whatever. And she looks at me like, what the fuck is this? I was like, oh, God, I don't know. I don't know what he's about to do, but it's going to be funny, whatever it is.
Yeah. God. Yeah, Louis.
But he's
so
the best
good.
at making people like, what the fuck? And then gets a laugh out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows how to find the funny in anything.
That's,
Absolutely anything.
That's what, to me, is the hardest thing to do about comedy. That's what I loved about Carlin. That's because whether you agreed with it or not, he could get you to listen to it and see his side,
Right.
whether it be about religion or abortion or prisons or
Right.
whatever. You might not agree with it, but you were like, all right, fuck.
Right.
I never looked at it that way.
Right. I think one of the keys to that is sometimes if you want to make a point, even if it's not like in a politician type of way, but if you want to kind of make a point in a bit, if you can make it feel to the audience less like it's something you're trying to stand behind and more just something you're kind of just propping up and putting in front of them.
Just showing you, hey, look, have you ever looked at it like this?
Here's an option.
Yeah, here's an option. That's way better. There's a lot of young comics who do the other thing you said,
Right.
where they're like standing on it. Like,
It's not as funny.
no,
It's not.
that's not where we're supposed to be, I don't think,
Right.
as comics.
Even when I do jokes about guns, obviously I believe very strongly about
Right.
guns, but I try to not do that. I'm not trying to be a
I'm just trying
political
to, like, look at this.
comedian. Right.
Have you seen it from this side?
Exactly. I want people who hate guns to find my jokes about guns funny. And I get to explore that a lot in Chicago because there's a lot of
Because it'll make
audiences.
them think,
Right.
hey, maybe I'm not thinking about this
Right.
from both sides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes you don't even have to make some big point. Sometimes it's just a silly observation or a silly situation within something like that maybe hadn't occurred to someone that could happen or whatever.
All right, this is a weird question.
Okay.
Weird segue.
All right.
What's the smallest gun you have?
The smallest gun that I have, I think it would probably be. I have this. Let me think. Yeah, it's this one for sure. I have this. It's made by a company called Cobra, and it's a 410 shotgun shell Derringer. It's a break action,
Yeah.
and you just put one shell in there.
And how, like,
and
it's as big
cock
as,
it.
you can
It's-
fit in your hand? It's as big as
I could hide it behind my hand. Yeah.
And it's 410
Yeah. Oh, it hurts to shoot.
in your hand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. A friend of mine,
Hurts to get shot with it. Also.
when I was growing up, his dad had a 22 long, the big ones, in a wallet. Have you ever seen one of those?
Yeah, I have. I have seen those.
We fold the wall
I think
out.
they call it the life card or something like that.
Right, so they ask you for your wallet. You get held up on the street. You take it out and fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about how it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're like, God damn it, you shot me in the titty with a 22.
You know, instead of a wallet that has a gun inside of it, I think a better method would be if you could just convince them that you keep money in your gun.
I have $100 in this Glock.
Yeah, let me get it out.
Let me get it out. Yeah. Yeah. Now, have you ever seen somebody get shot with a 22?
I've never seen anyone get shot. No.
In person or?
No, not in person.
Yeah. I just wonder if it would really mess you. Because people say, I've heard it said, that a 22 long will really mess you up. Not the little shorts, but the long.
Right.
It's got more powder.
You're probably talking about long rifles. So there's actually 3 22 rounds.
22, okay.
So there's 22 short.
Shorts.
And then now 22 long kind of doesn't exist anymore. That was kind of like a long time ago.
That's a rifle round, right?
Well, no. The long rifle one is your standard 22 that most people are talking about. 22 shorts are rare, but they're around. The long, I think, is pretty much extinct. You almost never see those.
Because I would use that in a Ruger pistol.
Okay.
With the change out, like the revolver.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it would change out, and you have the longs that would go in there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. A long, if you actually had some longs, they will fit in a long rifle. Yeah, absolutely. But I haven't seen those for sale like ever. I don't think. But
Well, I guess my question is, they say, well, a long will take a guy down.
Right.
But will it? I've never seen that.
If you hit in
And
a
it would be
vital,
a shame to be in that moment and be
It
like
would.
loading somebody up with some longs, and they're still like, this is nothing.
Yeah. Well, the thing that they teach you when it comes to self-defense about pistol rounds is that in general, it's all about what you hit. Just the impact of the round itself is not going to do much. A lot of times people get shot by 9mm and they don't even know they got hit.
They keep going.
The adrenaline is going. They don't even know they've been shot. So you have to hit something vital. So
That's why they say chest,
right.
the mass. Yeah.
Yep. So a 22 could do it. I know.
I've been working on trying to hit people in the shin. When I practice, I have a full length person, and I go for shin shots.
Hey, they can't chase you after that.
I shatter shins on a regular basis.
Well, if they're wearing knee pads.
And they're just down on the ground. Son of a bitch! Son of a.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of knee. Yeah, a shin. God, that would be the most painful place
Oh
to
my
get shot.
God, it would be bad, wouldn't it?
I can't even imagine that.
You would stop.
Oh yeah, you'd be done.
Stop. I heard like a special forces guy say the buds thing, the whole thing about like torturing them, is just to put them through the most amount of suck, because so many people, they get a little sand in their shoes, they get little
It all
water,
breaks down.
wet socks, they start blistering.
It's like, do you know about the ant glove culture? You don't know about these guys? The ant gloves. You don't know about it?
No, but I'm just interpreting the word, and I'm thinking, do you put on a glove full of ants and just let them bite you?
Yes.
Oh my fuck.
And not just any ants, an ant called a bullet ant.
Oh my God.
And the reason it's called a bullet ant
So you put on a glove full of ants?
So this is the way it works.
Oh my God. Where does this happen?
It's a coming of age ceremony in this remote tribe.
I'm so glad we're American.
Oh
right now.
yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to do the glove challenge.
No, I don't either. The way that works is they drug the ants so they're passed out, and then they weave them into these basically like wicker gloves. They weave them in there, and they wake up and they're all angry and confused.
So they just bite the fuck out of you.
And then you have to put the gloves on, and you have to hold them for I think it's 5 minutes while they just sting you all over your hands. And the bullet ant is capable of causing the most pain that your body is capable of even feeling. So it basically is no different than if someone just crushed your hand to a pulp with a hammer. That's the level of pain. And it lasts for I think it lasts for it's 24 hours or something like that.
The pain?
Yeah, they have hallucinations and everything. It's so extreme. And it's not even just once. They have to do several stages of this over a period of years.
So why do you do this? Is it to get a bride? Or?
Well, no, probably. Yeah, imagine if you're the guy.
I'd like to get some pussy.
Yeah.
All right, you got to do the ant gloves.
Oh,
all right.
You're not getting no pussy in that culture.
But you
if
do
you
it.
don't do it.
I mean,
imagine being the guy who's too
that
scared
was the
to
only
do it.
way you could get laid.
It is.
All right, give me the
It has
ant
to.
gloves.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'll suffer for a couple of days.
Yeah, for sure. But imagine back in the day going to war with those people, though.
Right.
They've already experienced the worst thing.
Right. Well,
So-
that's like us as comics. I mean, like we're talking about hecklers and stuff.
Right.
When in the beginning of comedy, before people know who you are, you work the shittiest gigs, these bars, these one-nighters, all these things you're talking about, the open mics, not the mics, the open mics,
Right.
where you get your ass handed to you, and then you go to a real comedy club where people are nice, and somebody says, like, one little nice thing, and you're like, that doesn't affect me at
Wow,
all.
what is this? Yeah.
I've experienced so much worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got irritated recently. I was at an open mic in Chicago, and I had some.
Were you just getting started?
Yeah, it was my first time trying comedy actually, and I was there was some comic. I had some kind of weird dust up with another comic in the audience during my set. It wasn't anything too bad, but it was just I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but. Afterwards, he was like accusing me of having like a meltdown on stage. I was like, you thought that was a meltdown, dude? Like you've not been to a lot of open mics, and I've done
Because you went at the crowd a little bit.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was a
Yeah, he never went to. What's the one we used to do?
oh, dude.
Fucking twin kegs.
Yeah. Yeah. I ran that thing pretty crazy.
Oh my god, it's so rowdy,
Oh,
so
yeah.
rough.
Yeah, I love
So,
that
yeah.
aspect of open mic. Basically, what happened was, I had my jokes I was working on that week, and I was going to run my material, and then I riffed off of a comic's joke, which is a common thing you do at mics, right? To kind of whatever, just
Tie it together. Sure.
tie it together, and also it's just to work on doing that, And he for some reason took offense to it or something like that.
fuck him.
He thought that I saw the joke differently than whatever, and then which is fine, except that he said something that kind of set me off. So then,
The fact that he commented on anything is more than
Yeah.
enough for me to know that he's
Right.
fucking full of shit.
and then some of the other comics that were like friends of his kind of ganged up on me, and then it was like this weird kind of
Cliquish.
thing, and it was basically me just up there just like calling them losers essentially.
Yeah,
and
fuck you guys.
And I didn't do my material because I knew I can't just do my material now. That's done because now it's this weird thing. And it was fine. It didn't bother me. It's like I've been in that type of situation a million times. But what the thing that did make me mad was after the mic, whenever he was like almost like being condescending to me, like, oh, a little meltdown up there. But it's like, you fucking kidding me, dude? I've done 3,000 open mics,
Yeah, he's just trying to
for
get you
years.
unraveled.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I don't-
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that pissed me off. But it makes you tougher. Like I still do a lot of mics because I need it for the open mics. I need it for the experience because I'm not
It's just practice.
right. Exactly. But I know when I get, if
I think a lot of people know about comedy these days, but you have to
Right.
do it over and over and over and over
Mhm.
again. You just
Right.
have to.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, when I'm in Chicago,
Whether it's open mics or not, it's fun to make fun of, but
Right.
you need that time.
you do.
Gotta get up there and say the shit.
Yeah,
again and
steel
again and
sharpens
again.
steel. That old saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, when I'm in Chicago, I'm doing like 15 sets every week. I'm just
Have to.
always going up. Every night going out doing spots.
Yeah.
open mics.
And
or
then
shows.
that guy who acts weird to you, that's another experience notch on your belt. Well, now
Right.
I know how to deal with the next asshole
Right.
comic that comes up to me.
Right, exactly. I'll tell you, I told this story on literally the last podcast, but it wasn't a comic. It was a good buddy of mine, Derek, who's was a regular on my old podcast, and so he probably didn't appreciate it as much as you might. So I had, because it's a perfect example of this. One time at Twin Cakes, this happened at Twin Cakes 2, which is a mic for people who don't know. This is a mic I used to run.
So good.
And it was notorious in
I
Nashville.
loved it.
Because it was just wild and it was chaotic. It was me and a bunch of my buddies, and we would just brutalize each other. And then anyone who came in,
You
that
hosted.
All right, I hosted it. Anyone
It was
who,
your mic.
it was.
Yeah.
Anyone who came in, they couldn't handle it. They just got eaten alive. It was so much fun.
It's wild.
It was great.
I never went up because I didn't want to get eaten alive. It was so wild. It was just like this fucking shit show that you would go to, and people did good. I mean, it's
you
not
could-
that people did.
There was
didn't
some
do good.
full
People
crowds
did
there.
good, but that's what was exciting to see. Is it was such a difficult,
You could crush in there. You could
hard room, but you could crush it. Just
Oh,
you didn't
yeah.
know who was. It was like a crapshoot. It was
Yeah.
a total crapshoot.
I had some really fun nights where I felt like I was really just on it with the riffs when I'd bring people up. It
Absolutely.
was just it was one of the biggest highs I felt in comedy. Like having a great set at a club is hard to beat, but just
That was a hang.
It was fun.
And it was during the pandemic, though, so people were
Right.
And it was outside on a big
Porch,
porch,
but it was
yeah.
closed in, so it still was good.
right. And they for a long time they were cool with
Right.
everybody was smoking.
Totally. But back to my story though. So one time, this big old guy, almost as tall as me, just showed up there, and he just happened to be there. It wasn't a comic or anything, and we were about to get started. In just a few minutes, we were going to start, and the mic was on and everything. And he walked over to the mic and started saying stuff, and I was just like, "Whoa, hey, no, get off of there," you know. And he was just kind of being a problem. He's like, "Make me," and I had this little thing in my brain where I was like, "Oh shit." And then it just came, and then it just came to me, and I go, I don't know if you realize what this is, but this is an open mic, and this is mostly comedians, so it's you against everyone on this porch,
And it all was comedians on the
right?
porch.
And that just shut him down immediately, right? So then, fast forward 2 or 3 years later, I was in Chicago at open mic, same situation, except multiple drunk dudes just happened to be in the back of this room. They were at this bar to watch a game or something. And they just, let's see what this comedy is like. And this guy, one of the buddies, starts heckling the host of the mic, right? And he's handling it because he's a great comic. Except then he goes, he said something pretty mean to the host to the guy, and he goes, say that something like that again and see what happens. So then now he's making a threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the host didn't really address it in the way I would have liked to. But I happened to be going up next, which was perfect. And I was like, I've been in this exact situation before. I know exactly what to say. And it felt so good because I was like, I'm not scared of this situation at all because I was in this.
Yeah, it's reps.
I went up there. I used the same line, except it was better this time. I started the same way about, like, I don't know if you know how open mics work, but it's mostly comedians. And we hate, and I added this little tag to it. I was like, we hate each other, but we will align against you.
An outsider.
We hate you way more.
Yeah, because you're fucking with what we love.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're making fun of it.
And I was like, and we have nothing to lose. We're at an open mic,
Yeah.
on a Sunday night.
Yeah, we already hate ourselves.
Yeah. So I really hammed it up like way more than I did before.
Yeah.
And it just shut the whole thing down. Those guys didn't say shit the rest of it. So, yeah, it's like once you've...
I saw a couple times at Twin Kegs where guys would come in and they would just be the life of their group of friends. Mm-hmm. And they would try and get up and be in the mix of that. And it'd be a room full of comics going, fuck you. We're taking this serious. You're just here fucking around with your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was a big... I've chilled out more now, but that was a big thing of mine that I did not stand for, is whenever I felt like someone was wasting our time. They were just playing around with comedy.
Yeah, you
and
got
they weren't
3 or 4
taking it
friends
serious.
here. You're just trying to goof off in front
It's
of
like,
them.
motherfucker, I've been fucking pounding away at this for years.
We're trying to make a living doing this.
Yeah. We ain't got time for your bullshit.
Yeah.
Like if you need this to make friends, that's not our problem. You need to go somewhere else.
I
and do
still
that.
have a video of one of the regulars that was at Twin Kegs, who was one of my favorites because he was so serious and so intense, but he was a really heavy drinker. And one night it ended earlier, and it was done or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We were all sitting around, and he went up and just started. It's fucked up. Doing stand up to nobody. Nobody was there, and I just started filming him, and I love it. I still have this video because he's so angry and he's stomping the floor. God damn it! And he's making points, but no one's there because everybody's left.
That's so
He's just
funny.
in his own fucking world doing stand up. Oh, it's the best. I love that place.
That was a fun time.
Yeah, it was just in a window too, because that can't exist forever.
Right.
The weirdness that was going on there was during the pandemic, and people needed a place to be. They couldn't be anywhere.
Yep.
But we could get together on this porch because it was outside. We didn't have to wear a mask. We could smoke weed, drink, and laugh, and I loved it.
It was great.
Yeah.
It felt like freedom.
And then when it ended for you there, all the fun went away.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun anymore. So you were a big part of that. Honestly,
appreciate it.
your energy.
I haven't been back.
Yeah, no homo.
I won't go back. Thank you. I won't go back. I didn't like how the reason it ended, but I felt betrayed by the
Well, it's good
ownership.
having you on my podcast. Any dates you want to plug you got coming up? What? What? This is fun, man.
Yeah, man. This has been great.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Any deep reveals you want to put out there?
Any deep reveals?
Yeah.
I don't know. I will say
I think that's the way you should end all your podcasts. It's time for a deep reveal. Remember Jack? It's time for, what was that Saturday night thing? Jack Handy with a
Oh yeah.
Deep
thoughts
Thoughts.
with Jack Handy. Yeah.
deep reveals with
Yeah.
John Hickok.
Yeah.
I like my nipples twisted. Deep reveals.
I don't
Oh,
actually.
okay.
It
Well,
hurts.
do you want to go ahead and get a deep reveal?
I'd have to
Deep
think.
reveal with John Hickok right now.
I can't think of one right now.
I get an erection when
first.
I I get half hard.
Some people probably do. I grew up with guns. I love guns, but it's in a different way than people who got into it later. I've noticed. I can always tell when someone didn't grow up with them because they love them in a different way. They're a little more like
Erotic.
overzealous.
Oh.
Maybe erotic.
Oh,
Also.
okay. Yeah.
Maybe erotic also.
Yeah.
You know, you ever been?
Do you sleep with your gun in the bed?
Of course.
In the bed,
Yeah.
not on the side.
No.
In
Side.
under the pillow,
Too far away.
right?
In my hand.
Really? No, because I'm being serious. When I went up to Louisville to do a gig, and I was staying at a really shitty hotel. At about 1 a.m, just one single pow. I sound like a 38.
If these beers were guns, this is how I sleep.
Okay. All right. We get an official Hickok. Just out and ready. Not even tucked in, just ready.
2 of them, yeah.
Holding up. Yeah. Holding them up in there. No, so when I was staying in the shitty hotel, my SIG was on the nightstand because I already knew it was a shitty hotel.
Yeah.
But then that gun went off. And I mean, it was a matter of 6 inches, but I don't know why it made me feel better. I pulled it off the nightstand and slid it under the pillow.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always tell people I've never been in a situation where I had to use my gun, but I've been in a lot of situations where I was made to feel very glad that I had it.
Yeah. I've been in a few where I wish I would have. I felt stupid that I didn't.
That you didn't use it?
That I didn't have
Oh,
it.
you didn't have it. Okay.
Yeah, like I usually
I was gonna say, you're like, damn, I should have shot that guy.
I usually like to keep it on me. I have some property out here in Tennessee. And when I walk on the property, I like to have it for
Yeah, absolutely.
critters and
Right.
bad
Four and
human.
two-legged, as they say.
Yeah. And one night it was like late, like midnight, and I just happened to be out late with the dog. And I'm in the middle of nowhere. You've been to my place. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
This is pitch black. There's no street lights, no nothing. And I'm walking up to the mailbox to go check the mail, which is pretty far from my house. And right when I got to almost like within 10 feet of the mailbox, this car comes whipping down my road and whips into my driveway. And literally his headlights and my dog and me are about 3 feet apart. And I just wished I had a big fucking handgun hanging off the side of my hip so that person would know, like, you're in the wrong fucking driveway.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I didn't. I was just standing there going, oh, fuck. I don't know if these guys are armed. I don't know why they're pulling it. Their lights are on me. I can't see who's in the car. But luckily, they were just pulling in to do a quick whip around and back out and take off the other way. But I didn't know what the fuck was going on. It was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's one moment where I was like, why don't I have that?
Right.
I always have it, but now I don't.
Yeah.
And this could go bad.
That's the thing. Yeah, you gotta have it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's scary. Yeah. I mean, it's scary even if you do have a gun, but especially if you don't. You're like, I got no options.
I'm here in front of this guy who's got his headlights on me. He could have fucking full arsenal in there.
Yeah. Sit and
Yeah.
duck.
And then he pulled out, and what it was weird. It was like two people were traveling in tandem. I live off a major highway, as you know, and one guy had gotten pulled over, and he was his buddy. So he was falling back, and he had pulled down my road to kind of watch. But so after he whips out of my driveway, he just sat at the end of my road, which was also suspicious. I finally figured out he was watching his buddy get pulled over. But for a while there, he was just sitting there, and I'm like, fuck. And I did go back to the house and got the gun, and then I saw what was going on. But, it's like that suspicious, like, this is suspicious.
Right.
Yeah. I'm in the middle of some shit.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. I have a gun story like that, but it's the opposite. 'Cause every now and then I remember. You ever have those things from your life? You like it just pop up randomly, and you're like, and you just have to cringe for a minute. You know, it's
When
one
you
of
were a douche?
it's kind of well maybe it's one of these. So like I this apartment I lived in Nashville. Someone was knocking on my door, and I had no reason to believe someone was coming over. Right. So I was like, okay, whatever. They'll knock, and then I won't answer, and then they'll leave. And I was downstairs. It was 2 levels, and then I hear the door open. I hear them come in. I was like, what the fuck? Someone just came to my apartment, and I remember I cocked a gun.
Yeah.
And I said, you think you're gonna say something cool in this moment? But I cocked it and I go, you don't need to be in here right now. Which is so
You're in the
dumb.
wrong house, guy.
You don't need to be in here right now.
Was it one of your friends?
It ended up being the manager of the apartment, and she needed
Oh,
like
scared the
checks.
fuck out of her.
Yeah, oh yeah, she needed to check something, and it's like, well, first of all,
You got to give it a heads up. Like,
yeah,
maintenance.
exactly. You can't just pop in. So I
No,
don't
you
feel
got a lot of maintenance.
So I don't feel
calls.
like too bad about it.
Yeah.
But also, I hate the way I said it because then it also makes it sound like I knew it was her.
Mm-hmm.
But I just was like, yeah, not right now. I'm busy.
Yeah.
You know? I still
Yeah,
feel
it's
kind
funny
of
when
bad
it comes
about
down to brass tacks that it doesn't come out. It's cool.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a little more awkward.
I got something for you in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's a good one, Don. I appreciate you coming.
Cheers.
It was a lot of fun. I'm going to. It's too deep in the podcast to do plugs. I'll put your upcoming dates and stuff in the description.
Yeah.
Of this.
Just go to markryan.com, look at the tour dates.
Cool. I'll put all that in the description.
I'm going to be in Vegas at the end of the year, so maybe
Oh, nice.
Maybe if this is up by then, people can come check me out in Vegas. First weekend in December
Okay, cool.
at the Strat.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Oh, are you doing LA Comedy
LA
Club?
Comedy Club.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, first weekend in December if this is up by then.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's a neat club. I like how they have the little alley you go down, you come through the curtain, and boom, you're right on stage.
Yeah, it's a good club.
It is. I
Yeah.
enjoy it. Oh, usually a good mix in the crowd.
Yeah, good owners. They love comedy. That's the clubs I really still enjoy working for. Is the owners are fans.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's great. Well,
Much success to you, John Hickok.
appreciate it. We'll have you on again. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Coming on.
I'll come. I'll be a regular.
Hell yeah. I'd love to have you
if
on.
you
as
want a regular.
I would love to.
If your fans like our thing, I'll come back.
All right. Okay. We'll let them
Yeah,
decide.
comment.
We'll let them
comment
decide.
if you like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing.
Okay.
All right.
Well, cool. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
See you guys.
See ya.